Alright folks, I just thought that I would do a quick video on how to adjust your IRP triple grip clutch that you can get for your KTM, Husqvarna or Gas 50cc. I'm a reseller for these clutches here and I get asked a lot, how do I adjust this, how do I adjust this, what do I have to do? And it seems like people find it quite daunting when it's actually quite easy. The instructions that come with the bike are very much based towards America. And in America, there's no big wheel kits. The bikes are completely standard. You know, there's no tuning, there's nothing like that done. Whereas over here, our bikes are running a 14-inch front wheel, a 12-inch rear wheel, longer swing arms. The bikes have got different various tunes done to them. Some really high spec tunes, some lower spec tunes, you know, and the bikes are all very, very different. So the instructions that come with them don't really apply all the time to what we have over here. So basically I thought I would make this video because I've sold this clutch to a customer and he came back to me and he said the bike's got this done to it, it's got this done to it, it's got this done to it, it's got this done to it. He came back with a whole lot of things and he was like, how do I adjust this? So to adjust these clutches, you need two things. I'm just going to lift this camera down like you see. You need a set of calipers, digital if possible. The ones that I use and I find very accurate are kind of stainless hardened, on off switch and very accurate. I have it set there already, and a 3mm Allen key. So on the clutch itself, on your ordinary clicker clutch that comes with the bikes, you have your 8mm Allen or your 8mm bolts in the front that you click to turn the stall speed of the engine up or down. On the triple grip, when you turn it over, you have 5 retaining screws, and each one of them takes a 3mm Allen key. So to turn the stall speed of the bike down, it's the exact same principle as the clicker. You would go anti-clockwise to turn the speed down, or clockwise to turn the speed up. So if the clutch is slipping, loads and loads of slip at top speed, means the clutch is slipping too much, you take it back out and you turn them back a quarter of a turn. Now, the gentleman who's bought this clutch off me, it's a brand new one, it's getting picked up by courier here on Monday, asked me to set it for him before it got posted to him. So he told me what's been done to the bike, and these clutches come out of the box pretty much set up for a standard engine. They 9 times out of 10, if your bike is a standard engine, these clutches will just come out of the box and go straight in. This one, however, the guys had quite a bit of tuning and stuff done to his bike, and he wasn't exactly sure what to do, and asked me would I set the clutch up for him prior to him receiving it. So I already have this done, but I'm just going to show you what to do. So I set his clutch, so that's moved ever so slightly, to 5.8mm. There we go. 5.8mm. Let's move it again. 5.8. Right, I'm trying to do this one-handed and then tighten that up. Well, we're sitting there at 5.81mm. I don't know if you can see that. So all we got to do here is, and I've done this already, is go round each of these retainers, make sure that your calipers are level and straight, make sure that the bottom of the caliper is on there and the measuring part of the caliper here is touching the metal on the clutch. So that's at 5.8. That's at 5.8. I have this locked in with that wee screw there on the side. That's at 5.8. That's at 5.8. As you can see, if I zoom in there, this part of the clutch, or this part of the measuring part, is on the end of the retainer. and the small metal part is touching the metal. Around the next one, and yep, it's sitting there perfect, 5.8, and this one's sitting at 5.8. Now the reason I've done this is simply because this bike is tuned. So I've increased the stall speed by turning those in to 5.8 mil. When I turn them into 5.8 mil, it lifts the stall speed of the bike. So the bike will hopefully be snappy enough with the tuning work that he's had done to his bike. Now, if his kid gets on it and the bike doesn't move, or he goes too fast, if he gets in and the bike doesn't move, the stall speed isn't enough, he'll need to wind that in a wee bit more. Now what I will say is, if he winds it in any more than that, he's anything below 5.7, you're taking the clutch out of factory spec. So what I will say is, it can be done, but you will be rebuilding the clutch more often because it will generate more heat, therefore the plates will wear quicker. I do know boys that run them at 5 mil, but they're rebuilding them every 10 hours. You know, if you can afford to do that, oh, well and good. Most people can't. So, but I would say with the tune that he's got done, 5.8 will work really, really well. My wee boy has a standard bike over there, and his works perfect with the big wheel kit on it. Now, that's the longer swing arm, and 14-inch front wheel and a 12-inch rear, and the triple grip in it at 6.1 mil, and it works perfect. The instructions in these are saying 6.4 mil or 6.3 mil or 6.35 mil. That's a standard bike, standard wheels, standard swing arm. In the UK and in Northern Ireland and in Ireland and parts of Europe as well, we're all running, everybody's running the longer swing arm, big wheel kit. So you've more drag happening on the clutch already. So already it needs turned in a wee bit more. But on my wee boy standard bike, as I say, his is sitting at 6.1. This guy that's bought this clutch has had quite a bit of tuning work done, so I turned it into 5.8, and I'm hoping that the 5.8 will work really well for him. He'll be able to just lift the clutch straight out of the box and put it straight into the bike, and the bike will just go. And as I said to him, hopefully, and if he's any problems, to give me a shout back. But hopefully, if you just think of these retainers on the back of the clutch as exactly the same way as the clickers on the standard clutch, turn them clockwise to turn the stall speed up, same way you would do with the clickers. You would go up to 10, 11, 12 clicks, or turn them anti-clockwise to lower the stall speed down. Same way if you have a complete beginner on a bike, you would put the bike, whenever my wee boy started, I started him off on 3 clicks of the clutch, and then every hour or so I would move it up a click, you know, until he got to the standard 9 clicks. And then I started using triple grips. And once you've used one of these, you'll never go back. I actually sent my wee boy out 2 weeks ago with a clicker clutch on his bike, just to see how it went. And he did 1 lap of the track and come in and says, "Daddy, there's something wrong with my bike. Every time I let the revs off, the bike seems to be bogging." And it was just simply because he was riding with a clicker clutch. Once you put one of these into your bike, you'll never go back. They're an absolutely fantastic clutch. They require, once they're set up, they require very, very little maintenance. And you know, great value for money. Rebuild kit, you rebuild them once a year if you're lucky. Standard clutches, you're rebuilding them twice, maybe 3 times a year. They don't like deep mud, they don't like deep sand. These clutches just pull through the deep mud, they just pull through the deep sand. No overheating problems, no blowing the head gasket problems, nothing. Great clutch. Can't speak highly enough of them. Once they're set, that's it, just leave them alone. They work perfectly. The one thing I will say, oil is a great yardstick to measure how well the clutch is performing. If you put the oil in, it should come out nearly the same colour. So the oil I use, I'll go and grab a bottle of it here. Is this stuff here. It's called CTFR, and it's clear like water, and it gets poured in, and when it comes out, it's a very, very light grey, almost like dirty dishwater. If I put that in and it came out black, I would know there was a problem with the clutch and it would probably need rebuilt, but it rarely happens. I think it's maybe happened once, and it was just rebuild kit needed for the clutch, which is just new plates and stuff. So your oil will go in, even if you're using ordinary Dexron 3 oil and you're pouring it in and it's pink, it'll go in pink and it'll come out a slightly darker shade of pink. But other than that, you know, that's your pretty good yardstick for letting you know that the clutch is working well and the clutch is working properly. Listen, I've done this video, I've done it on my son's YouTube channel. If you want to follow him and see his adventures, he's doing the Ulster Championship this year, he's doing the 90s Championship in England this year, he's doing a wee bit of racing in Europe this year. It's his final year on an automatic. And then we move up onto the 65s. So if you want to follow him and follow our family as we trek about in the motorhome and go do different tracks and different adventures, hit the subscribe button and follow along. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.